Hey everyone, I'm Cameron from SpeedCubeShop.com, and today we're going to be talking about a very important topic in cubing, which is popping. Let's get right into it. Popping is a very complicated topic because it's very commonly misunderstood and is commonly confused with a defective puzzle. So quickly, to get the terminologies out of the way, a pop is when a piece or pieces from the puzzle pop out of the puzzle, but they are not broken. That's the key thing here, is that the pieces are not broken. Sometimes if you're unlucky, a corner might snap on like a 2x2 or an internal piece on a bigger cube like a 4x4 and a 5x5. And the key thing to look out for on that is you're gonna see stress marks on the plastic, which are typically like white stress marks. That's how you know something's broken, or if you can obviously see that it's snapped in half or in pieces. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. So now let's talk about how a pop happens. A pop is when a cube is pushed past its limits of corner cutting and the mechanism of the puzzle just cannot withstand the stress or the load that's put onto it, and the pieces pop out as a result. For demonstration, I have an exaggerated RS3M, which is pretty loose as you can see. The key thing here is that even though these are professional speed cubes, popping is a very common part of speed cubing because the faster that you get and the looser that your cube is, the more likely it is for them to pop. Now keep in mind that newer cube hardware has countermeasures for popping, like this anti-popping mechanism as shown here, where you can see that the edge piece has this little tab that will cover a part of the corner piece, and that way it's harder for it to slip past it. But if the cube is too loose, this mechanism might separate and then it'll pop out. On a 3x3, for example, a common pop is gonna be an edge piece popping out, which is literally as easy to fix as that. On a 4x4 and bigger cubes, it could be more pieces and is slightly more complicated, but we do have a link in the description box down below to a pop and reassembly playlist if you need help reassembling one of those. Now going back to how pops happen, corner cutting is gonna be something like this. When the layer is misaligned, and you're completing a turn and the layers snap back into place. Now you can see that I'm not very misaligned and the corner cutting is very effortless, but now if I'm going a little bit more over here, the cube is pretty loose, so it's still accepting it. But the further and further I go, you'll see that the cube is kind of binding a little bit more and is kind of getting a little bit more stressed and is having more separation between the pieces. So a way to remedy popping is to focus on turning accurately. Magnetized cubes are going to help out a lot with this because the layers will slightly click into place and help you make a more complete turn versus overshooting and then trying to make another turn. Another thing is to keep your cube lubricated. If you're not too sure how to lubricate and tension your cube, we highly recommend that you add a professional setup service to your puzzle when ordering from us, or you can step it up and get something like our Cosmic or Supernova or even Unicube service, and that way we'll do all the setup for you. Tensioning your cube is also extremely complicated and is very easy to mess up. If you're not really too sure how tight the cube should be, how loose the cube should be, or how to set an even tension across all 6 sides, you're gonna have a really bad time with the cube that's too tight here, too loose in general, too tight in general, and it's gonna hinder your times and your solving experience and possibly increase the likelihood of popping. Now, as a last resort, if you've popped your cube and you just cannot get it back together, go ahead and send an email to us over at service@speedcubeshop.com and we can hook you up. If you want to send your cube back to us, we'll reassemble it for you free of charge, and then you can get it sent back right over to you. So that's an absolute last case scenario, but we are willing to help you guys out if needed because we do realize it can be a bit daunting. So go ahead and let us know if you need help. But overall, I hope this video was informative because again, it's a very important topic and there's no need to panic when your cube pops. It's very easy to fix most cases, and the reality is if your cube does pop, it is good to have a knowledge of how to reassemble and repair pops, because if you're going to keep cubing, it's more likely it's going to happen at some point. Happens to the best of us, doesn't mean that you're a bad cuber, just happens, it's a way of life, and that's just how it is. So hope that this video helped and you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.